Well, hello there, my friends. Look at that, Thursday, and a beautiful one at that. Canada Day, yes, indeed. So glad to have your company. It's kind of weird having, I call it the long weekend. I'm sure many people are carrying it through into tomorrow and then through the long weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and maybe even Monday if you're lucky. I thought it'd be really good to give the crew a bit of a break so they can see their family, but I wanted definitely to connect with you before we get into the weekend. So here you be, a special pop-up edition of Here and There. My name is Anwar. If you're joining us for the first time, thank you so much for your company already. A lot of people joining us. Is it Stefan? Or Stephen. I'm assuming it's Stefan from Mississauga. Donna's joining us. Rose saying hello. Florence, happy Canada Day from New Liskeard, Ontario. Thank you. Sheila is joining us. Svetka is joining us. Also Jennifer from Whitby. So we appreciate everybody joining me today for your time. We'll have this special edition. I know this Canada Day is anything but a normal one for so many reasons. And not just for COVID. But it's my hope, if nothing else, that you're able to, maybe for the first time in a very long time, to connect with some family because the double vaccinations continue to ramp up. Maybe you're in that stage now. This could be the first time. So if that's the case, good. I'm glad you're able to take advantage of that. It's important to connect with the people that you care about the most, and just continue to do it safely, though, right? I think a lot of us get really excited now. I'm double vaccinated, as I said last week, but we're still being cautious. We have 2 young kids who are not eligible for vaccinations yet. We're trying to see what's going to go on come September. Of course, school has ended. But we got a fun show coming up for you, without question. Now, we're not on location. We're sort of staying at base, of course, as I mentioned, because the crew is going to take some time off. But we're going to have your full long weekend forecast, tell you what's going on with that. We're going to play around with the Price is What, always have a lot of fun there, and an AKQ, the Anwar Night Query, and it's about ice cream. And I want to show you how this idea came about. It's a guy in the U.S., and he has invented a machine that turns beer, cocktails, any other liquor into soft scoop ice cream. So take a look at the image here. The machine is called Below Zero. It's the Below Zero machine. And it can take any beverage and it crystallizes it in under 30 minutes. So the secret here is that if it's a beer, the machine degasses it, and then it adds sort of a nitrogen gel that makes it into a type of ice cream. Now, of course, you can't really call it ice cream in the sense because there's no dairy involved in it. And the other thing is that, although it moves the gas and you're adding the nitrogen gel, it's still alcohol. I mean, if you did, like he was giving an example, you could do a rum and coke on a cone. It is equivalent to a rum and coke that you're drinking. None of the alcohol evaporates. So you still have to be careful. You can't be doing 2 scoops and then hitting on the road, because it is solid alcohol still. But I thought, interesting, it's very hot. Maybe it's something refreshing, I don't know. His idea is to sell it now to restaurants. He's going to sell it for about $6,000. And he's hoping that people can do themes and that sort of thing. Again, you'd have to prioritize, though. You are still serving essentially liquor, alcohol to patrons, so you still have to watch it. So you have to, sir, that's the second Sunday you're done. You're cut off, right? But I thought it was quite interesting. And, the thing is, ice cream is such a wonderful thing to enjoy during the summer. Of course, July is officially ice cream month. I'm not going to ask for an alcohol flavor. Whether or not that's, that does it for you or not, I don't know. But I'm more interested in what's your favorite flavor of ice cream as we start up officially July and officially ice cream month. What is your absolute go-to flavor? Now, if you ask me that's the AKQ today, so let me know your thoughts. And I would have to expand it to include gelato, Italian ice cream. And if that's going to be part of it, we're talking pistachio all the way. I mean, forget the cone or a little cup. Give me a big bowl, okay? Give me a big bowl. And then second would probably be something with nuts in it. Maybe a butter pecan, something with hazelnut, and that sort of thing. Laura says, can you refreeze a daiquiri? I don't think so. Well, you know what? Maybe we should try that. I'll leave that up to you. Judy says, cookies and cream. Oh, that is a good one. Ben and Jerry's has wonderful cookies and cream. Cheryl says praline and cream. Tammy's wishing everybody a happy Canada Day. And Sheila says pralines and cream or mint chocolate chip. Yeah, you know what? I was never into the mint chocolate chip. It's okay. I'm not a big mint kind of guy. My son loves it, but that's interesting. And then Pat says pralines and cream or black cherry. Ooh, you know, the black cherry, there is one. Is it called Jerry Garcia? Ben and Jerry's? It's almost too sweet for me, but I like that. Oh, Morag says anything with chocolate, caramel, and or peanut butter in it. I love peanut butter. I do too. Maple walnut, yes. Absolutely, Sandy. You're my girl. Maple walnut. Jennifer's chocolate in peanut butter. Miranda says cookie dough. Oh, I love cookie dough. You know, I'm the guy. I don't tell the kids. I actually scoop out the cookie dough. And I just sort of smear it back in. I don't double dip the spoon. I get it all out and I eat it. And then when we serve it to the kids, well, that's all that's left in there. They didn't put much. Rose says candy cane. Interesting. No, not for me, but good for you. Joyce says heavenly hash or tin roof and wishes everybody a happy Canada Day. And Nez says black cherry is my fave. See, everybody has a different one, and I wonder if it goes back to your childhood or is it sort of a flavor that you discovered recently. I mean, for me, gelato would have been more so when we visited Italy for the first time, have true gelato. And now that is my go-to. I just love that. But I asked that because I actually have the top 5 flavors of ice cream that are across North America. And it's interesting. It's changed up a little bit. So you can continue to do that. Cheryl says Haley doesn't like ice cream. Well, Haley, I don't know what to tell you. Listen, ice cream has got to be, between pizza and ice cream, that's all I need. And I am content. And we talked about this the other day with the kids as we get into the summer. You know what we did last year? We did the Tour de Glace, tour of ice cream, in the sense because it was still COVID. We couldn't go out, but we would choose a whole assortment of ice creams, and every day we had a different flavor, and we lined it all up. So it was for one whole week. They were able to pick up, choose any type of ice cream that they wanted, and then we would serve it up. And oh my God, it was so much fun. It was a neat way to sort of celebrate staying at home. So Donna says, my mom made it in ice cube trays. The ice cream? Wow. Sheila says, pizza. I know, me too. Jack says butterscotch ripple. Elizabeth is saying pistachio. Me too, totally in there. And Catherine mentions Kawartha Dairy Moose Tracks. You know, a lot of people have mentioned that. I have not had that yet. So if Kawartha Dairy is watching or gets word, we're all in. We should do an ice cream party, okay? I'm loving it. Alan says Dairy Queen chocolate chip. Janet is wishing everybody a happy Canada Day. And Judy says orange sherbet. Yes, I used to love sherbet, but I was more into the lemon ice sherbet. But that's very refreshing, isn't it? And a little lighter. And Wally says my kids love homemade waffles with vanilla ice cream sandwiches. Oh, yes, of course. That sounds awesome. Oh, I love that. We've done that, you know, the lazy way is just to do it on cookies, but that is a real decadent treat, especially on a summer day. So let me show you the top 5 ice cream flavors, and we'll start. Well, you know what? Hold on, Jason. Don't show it quite yet. You know, I was just thinking about. I'm revealing them all now, aren't I? So maybe what I'll do. Let's not show the board. Oh, it's up there. Okay, that's all right. So number 5 is. That was my fault, Jason, so don't put it up again. But number 5 was butter pecan, and number 4 was mint chocolate chip, and we've had people who've said that. Number 3 was strawberry. Number 2 was vanilla, and the number 1 most popular flavor, and now you can bring it up again, Jason, thank you. Jason, by the way, is working today, so we appreciate his time today on Canada Day, is chocolate. And what's interesting is that chocolate was actually the very first flavor that was invented when it came to ice cream. And, you know, vanilla for the longest time has been number 1, but just the most recent survey suggested that chocolate is the number 1. Maybe people are changing it up. But I would be interested to see what the sales are, because I think in a survey people may say chocolate, but I bet you vanilla is still the number 1 seller in terms of tubs. But there are the top 5 ice cream flavors. So chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, mint chocolate chip, and butter pecan. And how long do you think it takes for a cone in terms of licks? How many licks would you think to lick a cone? Any guesses? Now, for me, when I found this out, I was kind of, yeah, that's not me. Any guesses? How many licks for the average cone? And Morag, by the way, says chocolate all the way. And Ron Carter is wishing everybody a good day and happy Canada Day. So it's actually 50 licks. And I thought, not in my capable hands. You know, I mean, I'm thinking 25 max, and I'm done a cone. And I was asking my kids about it, and my oldest said, oh, it's got to be 300 licks. And then he said, but not for you, Daddy. And it's like, yeah, not for me, especially if it's pistachio gelato, right? Mary did guess 50. Sheila said 750. Sheila, it would be all over your hands. It'd be melted. Wow, that is a long way to go on a cone. Edith says vanilla is a blank canvas. You can make it into any flavor. That's so true. You can add anything to it without question. Oh, Inez says Neapolitan. You know, I went through a phase as a kid with Neapolitan. Not my favorite now, but it was sort of the best of everything, wasn't it? You know, when they put them all together. And Kitty Stone is joining us, is saying can't go wrong with chocolate or maple walnut. Sheila says giraffe tongue. Have you ever seen that? No kidding, right? 14 inches. Oh, Sheila says it's a big cone. Okay, you get one of the ginormous ones with the 3 scoops. Fair enough. Yes, Wally says Canada's Wonderland funnel cakes. My kids say it is a must. It is, but you know what? It's also like 40 bucks. You know, it ain't cheap. Tammy Jacobs, Hulk Hoop says Kawartha Dairy all the way. There's a lot of fans of Kawartha Dairy, without question. You know, the other thing, too, about ice cream is, in terms of the astronauts, they asked them on a general survey the top 3 things that they miss, and one of them was indeed ice cream, because you can't do that up there, right? Everything's, for the most part, just dehydrated, and then they add a little liquid and eat it out of a pouch. But when you go, you know, up for 8 months or a year, you know, that might be a craving that you really do want some sort of sense of home. Miranda says, love the soft serve twist from the ice cream truck as a kid. Yeah, we still have the odd one that goes through now. I mean, COVID sort of changed things up. But there's nothing like a soft serve. You're absolutely right. Mary also says, loves Kawartha Dairy. Jack says, how about banana splits with my grandmother? Used to make them for us when I was a kid. You know, I can't think of the last time I've had a banana split. I don't think we've ever made one for the kids. You know, there was something simpler, right? And you could be gluttonous, but you still did it within reason. And maybe because now all the fast food places make everything so big, but a banana split, that was a real treat. You did the 3 scoops, the banana, sometimes you put nuts, and you lay it on the whipped cream. Oh, wow. You know what? Maybe this long weekend I'm going to introduce the kids to a banana split. Thank you for that idea. I appreciate it, Jack. And Edith says, sounds fantastic. Maple bacon ice cream. I think they did that at the CNE. Maybe in little bits. I don't know. I mean, you know, bacon really will taste good in anything, actually. Stefan says Dairy Cream Mississauga. Yes, that's on Lakeshore, isn't it? Yeah, that's awesome. And also, now, Dawn, you're saying iced tea. Is that flavored ice cream iced tea or just iced tea as a normal? And Judy says Coke floats with vanilla ice cream. I never got into that. I don't know what it is. I can't remember the last time I had a Coke, and I used to love Coke. I haven't done that in a very long time. C.E. Snowflake says she was a soda jerk at Diana Sweets in St. Catharines. Oh, that would be cool. You see, oh yeah, Laura says, what are the best toppings for a banana split? You know, it's endless, but I would throw coconut in there too, and not everybody's coconut lovers, but definitely for me. Oh, Wally says grew up in Pickering with Dickie D ice cream bikes. Yes! You know, I don't think they're around anymore. Do you remember that? And you used to think the kid who did it had the greatest job, but then when you got older and you talked to him, it was like, it's all right. You know, because you're riding that bike in the heat, and of course you had to, you know, make sure that the door doesn't stay open too long. You're divvying it out, and you got to do the change. But that was kind of cool. Alan says a root beer float. And then Sheila says, all this talk of ice cream, I think I'll go buy a 99-cent Frosty after lunch. Wendy's, right? Yes, we've taken the kids there, too. It's not a bad deal. Not a bad deal. Oh, Don says on a stick tea. So iced tea like a popsicle. I've never had that. Sounds interesting, though. I had an iced coffee the other day, and it was very refreshing. Laura says, the best deal of the summer, the 99-cent Frosty. It really is. Not bad at all. And Edith, for Laura, says cherries and cherry toppings. You know what, though? For me, it has to be really cherry, not the candied cherry that looks like a, you know, like a painted ping pong ball. I won't do it. It's just blah. But I do love cherries. Oh, especially local cherries. Anyone had green iced tea, ice cream? Yes, I love that. Very nice. And banana split, best toppings. Yeah, okay, so we did that one. So, you know, it's interesting that everybody is doing their own version. Sheila says peanut butter parfait, Dairy Queen. Wally says Dickie D reminded me of Wally Cleaver selling ice cream on Leave It to Beaver. Yes. Oh, and Sarah says, Sarah Vero joining us. Fond memories of Dickie D too. Enjoying some vanilla ice cream with fresh picked strawberries. It's so true. And you know what's interesting is that we got sort of spoiled looking at the imported strawberries, like from California, where they're the size of a potato. And, you know, yes, in terms of size, you think, oh, wow, that's awesome. But there is nothing better than a locally grown strawberry. And they're in season. And I'll tell you, I remember that as a kid. You know, we went as a family, and you could just sort of, you know, you find your own spot on a row. And, of course, you know, you're part of the sampling, making sure everything is up to quality, right? And then you'd come back with your little pint, and then it's all over your face. But there is nothing better. Support your local growers, by the way, because there are many of them around the region, and it is a great thing to do with kids, relatively safe because you're outdoors. But that's a good one for sure. Oh, man, yes, indeed. Cindy's saying, Mr. McKee, the ice cream man, delivered St. Clair ice cream in Scooga for more than 30 years. Isn't that neat? You know, when they used to have those just regular delivery people, right? And you got to know them. Door to door. Wow, that sounds awesome. Kathy says, vanilla ice cream and ginger ale with my grandpa on a hot summer day in Perry Sound. And Tammy says, love me a large chocolate milkshake. Yes, milkshakes. We used to have an actual authentic milkshake machine. Not a blender, the one with the stick, and you'd put the metal cup on it, right? Oh, there was nothing better. You just loaded the ice cream, just a little milk. Oh, that's a nice treat. Yes, Tammy agrees about the strawberries. And also, Cindy says Linton's Farm in Raglan. So there's some other ideas. And, you know, I'm hoping we can take the show to some farms. Now that we're into the full-blown growing season, we're just trying to figure out logistics in terms of signals. We'd have to make sure that it's a solid signal for us, but it'd be a lot of fun. Edith says very true about the strawberries and also local corn. You're absolutely right. I got to tell you a story about corn. Years ago, I mean, I was just maybe 17. We used to do a lot of camping. You know, the whole group of us, 20 people. We'd sometimes go to Grand Bend and, you know, get 3 or 4 different sites. Anyway, and again, I was only a young punk at the time. But we'd pass a couple of farms, and sometimes when you'd get there into the end of the day, we said, hey, look, there's a farm with corn. I'm not saying we should do this. I was just a punk kid. But I thought, we'll take a couple of cobs of corn, you know, for our campsite. So, and I'm not proud of it. But I learned something because we ate it, and we thought, this isn't really good. And then I found out, this is years after, I married into farm country. My wife's family out from southwestern Ontario in the rural area. And I found out it was feed corn for cows. I had no idea. There was, you know, sweet corn that you eat, and then there's feed corn. And I connected the two. I said, well, that's why it just didn't taste good. Because, you know, as Edith said, when you have local sweet corn, oh, wow, it's like candy. It's amazing. But it was just something that I learned. And again, I'm not saying you should ever do that. I was a young punk kid. We took a couple of cobs of corn. Now I am a huge promoter of, you know, what farmers do. They work so hard, and they really do feed cities. So go out there and support them. And it's interesting because, okay, so we've got a lot of things going on here. So, yes, Cindy says Pingles Farm. We have gone live there when I was doing the network stuff. Sheila says, next time I buy an ice cream, I'm going to count down how many licks to verify your found facts. I'll get back to you. Okay, it's a deal, Sheila. But let's make it really a standard test where it's a standard cone and one normal-sized scoop. But let me know, and maybe I'll do that this weekend too. Deborah says Watson's Farm in Bowmanville for strawberries and lots of other berries too. Edith says Stroud's Farm in Ajax. They have a store and a stand. This is great. So now we're getting some places where people can go. I love it. I love it. Also, yeah, okay, well, I'm glad that Mary and Cheryl and Alan, you know, you didn't take offense to me poaching some corn cobs. Yes, true story. And I'm glad you thought it was funny. And I thought I was like, look at me. I'm scamming. I'm getting a couple of cobs of corn. It's on, you know, on the house. And it was a learning experience. So Kathy has also given me some laughing emojis there. Sheila saying cattle corn. And Donna adds nothing better than Ontario strawberries and sweet corn. So very cool. Yes, Laura says I ate a cob of starch. You're right, and it wasn't good. You could butter the heck out of it, and it still wasn't good. Oh, man. Jennifer says Mackey Farms. That's Bowden Road East in Oshawa. Also, Morag says Allison's in Georgetown. Oh, yes, so true. Wally says, I feel sorry for the lactose intolerant people. You know, there is lactose-free ice cream. In fact, there are a lot of substitutes now. Even, you know, if you want vegan. I bought one the other day. I think it was a coconut one. It was a coconut marshmallow? But it was vegan. I'm starting to try to lean off a little bit more of... I mean, I don't eat red meat anymore, but I eat chicken and that sort of thing. But just to vary it up, right? And it was really good. And it makes me wonder, because if you look at the ingredients, and it was all whole stuff, you know. Yes, there was some organic cane sugar, but there wasn't anything processed, no glucose and stuff. And I thought, if they could make it this good, how come everybody isn't doing this? And maybe it's just a cost thing. I'm not sure. But very cool stuff. Also, Edith says Stroud's is the only place I can find sugar pears in August. Oh, nothing like a good pear. So we're going to continue with that. Oh, Rose just adds, ever try mayonnaise on corn? No. But it makes me wonder now. Makes me wonder. I may have to try that. I want to get to the forecast, guys, so everybody's up to speed on what we're dealing with. Edith says Stroud's is the only place I can get the sugar pears in August. We mentioned that. And Sheila says I need to find a gluten-free cone. I'm allergic to wheat. I'm sure it exists. I'm sure. If somebody knows gluten-free cones, let us know. We'll hook you up, okay, Sheila? Also, CE Snowflake, where did you go to get the vegan ice cream? It was Highland Farms. I'm sure other suppliers have it. I don't know if you've ever been to Highland Farms, and I don't want to endorse because they're a huge company, and they should pay for that plug. But they have a huge selection, so that's something you may want to try. Also, Lois says Brower Strawberries just outside of Lindsay. Also, Cindy says Hascap berries in Foxborough. I've never had a Hascap berry. Sounds good, though. Lori gives us a big heart. And Barbara says, listening while out for a walk with my daughter-in-law and grandson. Well, thank you, Barbara, for taking us along. We appreciate that, and I hope you're enjoying some time with your daughter-in-law and grandson. Good for you. Don says, hello. Janet says, thunder here in dark in Port Hope. Not surprised. We were watching that in the on the radar signature. Okay, so Deborah says, what's the name of the farm? And it looks like that has been answered. Hascap berries in Foxborough. So, Cindy, if you could let us know the name of that farm where you can get the Hascap berries, that would be great. Janet is saying now we're getting the rain for you. Okay. And Edith says, love your forecast. You explain the weather very clearly, easy to understand. Thank you for that. And also, oh, Lori and Barbara, you're adding that. Thank you very much. Wally says, nice to get the live weather report and not a pre-recorded one. Yes, some of those stations, that's what they're doing now. I hate to say it. Okay, yes, I'm tricking you about being on Thursday instead of Friday, Rick. you know, and the AKQ is what's your favorite flavor of ice cream, Rick, if you're joining us late. And the only reason I did it to Thursday, I wanted to make sure I connected with you guys, but I wanted to give the crew some time with their own family, so we sort of made it to home base here. Jason, if you please, cue some music for us, and we're going to play The Price is What? And this is a really easy game. If you're new to the show, I'm going to highlight 3 items. These are actual items that are currently for sale on a popular online classified site. I won't name it, I'll just say it rhymes with Luigi. Okay? You try to guess the actual price without going over. Don't Google, don't cheat. They are, again, actual items. And the prize is bragging rights for now until we get sponsors. And also include in your answer whether it's item 1, 2, or 3, just because of the lag. So that way I know which one you're responding to. Okay, are you guys set for this? And Rick, by the way, says maple walnut is his favorite. And sounds good to me, Rick. So, item number 1 on The Price is What? Again, these are actual items. A brand new, this is according to the seller, a brand new kitty cat Christmas stocking. I don't know, apparently the seller thinks that you're getting your Christmas gear now. And the seller adds, it is a must-have item. And look at the zoom in there of the kitty cat. So how much? How much? The price is what? How much do you think this seller is selling it for? So Sheila says item 1, $20. Miranda says $5. Kathy, Katie Rempel says $6. Ruth says $50. Mary says $10. And CE Snowflake says $50. Wow, you guys are generous. Is this what you? Is it really? Is this a collector's item? Is it worth that? Thank you, Don, for giving us a reality check. $2. Morag says $20. Jack says $25. Alan says $7.50. Joseph, $14.99. I think you're in business. Look at you. Edith says $10. Lucy, $8. Phil says $15. Cheryl, $5. Catherine, $15. Nancy says $25. Wally says $20. Elizabeth says $20. Joyce says $12. Well, the actual price is $20. All right, so congrats to a number of people. I got to be honest with you, I'm not giving $20. If I see it at a garage sale, and I don't think I would even get it then, maybe $1. But if you love it, and I love cats, $20. Again, these are actual items. All right, item number 2 on The Price is What? This is the Vintage Velvet Suite. Again, these are the words now from the seller. Beautiful European velvet suite with spring-filled cushions, spring-filled in a French velvet rust-colored upholstery. Oh, I was just saying, man, I need some rust in my life. It includes 3-seat sofa, 2 chairs, 1 is a rocker, and a large footstool. I have no idea how old it is, but I'll tell you right now, I'm not putting a glow-in-the-dark black light to this. Okay, so how much? The price is what? Okay, so this is item number 2. Yeah, so Ron says the higher prices were from cat lovers for the first item. But item number 2, please put that in your guess. $400, says Don. Ruth says $225. Miranda says $100. Cindy says $500. Nancy $125. $45, says CE Snowflake. And Morag says $200. Also, Lonnie says $200. You owe me $100 to take it, says Alan. Well, I'm not doing that. Janet says $250. Okay, Phil says $3,500. Wally says $200. Sheila says item 2, $325. And but also adds, I would not be buying it. Donna says $100. Yeah, Ron says pay me $50 and I'll take it to the dump. Lita says $100. Barbara says $250. $225 from Judy. $200 from Wally. $399 from Cheryl. Rose says $300. Joyce says $99. And Edith says $300. Lucy says $700. Catherine says $1,500 for the velvet, vintage velvet suite on The Price is What as a stream live here on Here and There. Now, the actual price, $2,200. Oh, man. If this guy or girl, I don't know, can get $2,200 for vintage rust-colored suite. Wow, that would be certainly something to report on. $2,200. I don't know. You know, I keep thinking, again, I draw it back to like a garage sale experience. If you saw it on somebody's driveway and you needed it for the cottage, what would you really spend? You think you're gonna give $2,200? Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's right. Say it with me, Tammy. The price is what? I know. Crazy. Just nuts. Anyway, good luck to that seller. Okay, here comes the final item. And the price is what? Item number 3. I think this border's gross, but I'll let you be the judge here. It's the Aircast boot support. Now, according to the seller, like new apparently, let me guess, used only once, right? But yes, this is that thing that you put on your broken or swollen foot or twisted ankle. And how much do you think? How much do you think item number 3? And that's what we're looking for. You guys are still freaking out on the second item too. Barack says, "Oh my God, never." Lois says, "Holy cow." Elizabeth says, "Crazy." But item number 3, $25 is what we have on the board. 15 from Miranda, and Lonnie says 50. 80 from hold on, it went so fast here. From Janet. Tammy says 50. Phil says 25. Joseph says free. Yeah, no kidding. Even then, I think it'd be a tough sell. Okay. Yeah, Ruth says new would be 150, used free. I have one. There you go. Mary says 75. Wally says 100, expensive at the hospital. That's interesting. Cheryl says 25. Alan says 50 cents. And Judy says $55. Inez, $50. Elizabeth, 10. Oh, okay. Kathy says, "Cannot join you today at my cottage for a month. Stay safe." Thank you, Kathy. Appreciate that. Enjoy your month-long getaway. Joyce says $22. Now, I'll just add in, the seller says he paid $185 for it, but will sacrifice for, here it comes, last bids, anyone? 99 says Rick, 15 says Lucy, 22 says Joyce. $75. Oh, you know, listen, I'm just thinking, in the world of COVID, is anyone putting on other people's casts? You know, I'm no doctor, but my understanding, it has to be on there 4 to 6 weeks. Are you doing that? Are you crazy? No. One says make a good planter. I don't know if I'd even do that. Right now, I'm not taking anything with anybody's DNA on it. And I don't care how much you wash it. It's on somebody's foot. It's gross. So I'll be very surprised. And I understand they're very expensive at the hospital. I don't know. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm being selfish. I don't know. But there you go. That concludes this edition of The Price is What? Listen, guys, this has been a lot of fun. I really appreciate your time. You've been so great and very supportive. We are going to get back on the road for next week, and we're going to continue to grow. I've got a couple of ideas in the works. We're really starting to get into a rhythm now, so this is very exciting. So, oh, Joyce, by the way, adds, I have one plus a pair of crutches. So that's a whole deal, I guess. And Lucy says, totally agree with you on that. So does Alan. Show me a parade of hearts. And of course, if you're new to the program and you haven't followed my page, please follow my page and share it. I know we have a lot of people watching from cottage country. I don't know if you have access to the internet, but this might be sort of a nice way to touch base with us city folk and let us know how things are going. Again, every Friday, we'll go back to our normal schedule next week, Friday at 1 o'clock. Thank you for the hearts. And if you're watching this show on my YouTube channel, if you like it, please help me support and grow it by subscribing and liking. And I'm always open to your comments and suggestions, good or bad. You know, we just want to connect and have some fun. And I think we did that today. So I want to wish you a very happy Canada Day. I'm going to still say a long weekend. Whatever you're doing, do it safely. Hopefully you can connect with some family. And I really look forward to the privilege of having your company next week. On that note, my friends, have a great day. We'll see you next week, all right? Thanks for joining me on Here and There. See you later.